You know, maybe in the last few days, everything's turned upside down. That you're not doing things like you normally do, like you don't go to school, you don't have your regular routine, everybody's stuck at home, you're doing things a little bit differently. Well, that's what this story is about. Motor Mouse. This one is called The Friday Cake Day. Watch and see how life changes for Motor Mouse. The Friday Cake Day, here we go. Motor Mouse and his friend Telly loved cake. Telly said, "It makes me stand on my head." He said that while standing on his head. Cake did not make Motor Mouse stand on his head, but it did make him hum a little tune. Said Motor Mouse when he thought of cake. Friday was cake day. All week, Motor Mouse and Telly did their jobs. Motor Mouse drove his little car here and there making deliveries, and Telly trimmed hair rather well. They did their jobs, working their way to cake day. But one Friday, everything went south. Motor Mouse and Telly arrived at the cake shop, and the sign said, "Shut! Shut!" they shouted, waking a hedgehog on a nearby bench. Motor Mouse and Telly were beside themselves. Telly cried, "What is the point of it all without cake?" He brought forth his handkerchief and let it all out. And suddenly someone said,
But what about pie?
It was Hedgehog, who could not help overhearing. Motor Mouse asked, "Pie?" And Telly bubbled, "Pie?" The Hedgehog invited them to follow behind his motor car for some pie. Soon they were out of town and flying over the hills. Telly shouted above the roar of the cars, "I'm not sure I will like pie as well as cake." Motor Mouse said nothing. He was busy keeping up with the Hedgehog's motor car. It was a mighty machine. In due time, there was a village, and then a row of shops. Then a shop that said, "Pie." And Telly said, "I'm not sure I want to eat pie on Cake Friday." And Motor Mouse said, "We shall make do. Be brave, Telly." They followed the Hedgehog within. It smelled rather good inside. It smelled rather terribly good inside. And Telly said, "Ooh," almost feeling the urge to stand on his head. And Motor Mouse said, They looked at the case of pies. Neither could speak. The Hedgehog said, "Allow me." He ordered 3 plates of pie and 3 pots of tea. They sat at a table for 3. Motor Mouse and Telly each took a bite. And Telly asked, "Are we dreaming?" Motor Mouse checked his watch and said, "No." They were indeed eating pie on Cake Friday, and it was quite acceptable. When Motor Mouse and Telly had finished with their pie, they thanked their new friend, the Hedgehog, for opening up a whole new world to them. Of course, they went right back to Cake Friday the next week. Nothing in the world but cake could ever make Telly stand on his head. The end. Sometimes when you try something new, you like it almost as much as that one thing you liked a whole lot, you know? And this is a time we're all making changes, but we can all look for the changes to be good in some cases. Thank you for joining us on THV11.com. We'll have another book on Monday.